Here is a long, continuous story-style explanation based on Harari's ideas. The story of the agricultural revolution. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived simple lives as hunter-gatherers. Small bands wandered across forests, plains, and coasts in search of berries, roots, small animals, and occasional big-game hunts. They followed the rhythm of nature. When food became scarce, they moved. When the seasons changed, they adapted. No one owned land, no kings ruled them, and people were mostly equal because nothing could be stored for long. Life was unpredictable, but flexible. Then, around 12,000 years ago, something began to shift quietly. In the Fertile Crescent along river valleys and grasslands, humans noticed that certain grasses, especially wheat, grew abundantly in one place. At first, they gathered wild grains, just like other foods. But slowly, without realizing the consequences, they began to spend more time near these patches. They cleared stones, pulled weeds, and watered the soil. They began protecting wheat from animals. Step by step, their lives became more tied to this plant. This moment is remembered as the birth of agriculture. But according to Harari, this revolution was not a leap forward for the individual human. Instead, it was a trap disguised as progress. Life changed rapidly. Instead of walking freely across vast landscapes, people settled permanently around fields. They built huts and villages around crops that demanded constant attention, sowing, watering, harvesting, and storing. Work became harder and longer. Hunting and gathering had required only a few hours a day, but farming meant bending the back from sunrise to sunset. Their diet worsened too. Where foragers enjoyed hundreds of wild foods rich in nutrients, farmers depended mainly on a single grain like wheat or rice. Their bones weakened, teeth decayed, and diseases spread easily. Close living quarters, animals brought into villages, and stored grain attracted pests and epidemics. Yet while individuals suffered, the species multiplied. Farming produced surplus food, allowing more children to survive. Populations grew rapidly, villages expanded into towns, and humans spread across the planet faster than ever. Agriculture enabled specialization. Some people became soldiers, priests, scribes, craftsmen, and rulers. These non-farmers, supported by surplus food, laid the foundations of complex civilization. But this new complexity came with a price. Those who controlled the surplus gained power. Hierarchies emerged, kings and elites demanded taxes. Land became private property. Men began to dominate women more strictly. Armies enforced boundaries. Bureaucracies recorded grain stores and population counts. Inequality and exploitation became permanent features of human society. Harari provocatively suggests that wheat domesticated humans, not the other way around. Humans surrendered their flexibility, mobility, and varied lives to serve a demanding plant. They cleared forests, dug canals, and labored endlessly, not for their own benefit, but to sustain wheat fields. Wheat spread across the world through human toil, becoming one of the planet's most successful species. The agricultural revolution transformed everything: how humans lived, worked, ate, organized, and ruled. With farming came surplus, and with surplus came ownership, inequality, and the beginnings of institutional power. Humanity as a species flourished, but the ordinary individual found himself working harder, suffering more, and becoming trapped in social systems built on grain. Thus, the revolution that appears to be a triumph for humankind was, in Harari's view, a bittersweet turning point, one that exchanged freedom for stability, equality for hierarchy, and wandering abundance for settled struggle.